Hello soul friends, this is Miriam Hiller. Welcome back to my channel. Today's pick a card reading is going to be all about the last months of the year. We're kind of in our last 5. It's still July, but just barely because I was, a lazy pumpkin. I haven't seen you for a long time. My apologies. Let's apologize for that right off the bat. Let's also apologize for a few other things about summer. There's hair everywhere. In summer readings. There is also a ceiling fan that you get to look at. It's super fun. And, just good stuff like that. So the last months of the year, and we'll just kind of see where you guys are at. Remember, no matter your individual beliefs, tarot or oracle reading is your spirit guides coming forward to give you advice, or it's simply your subconscious mind helping you answer life's ponders. No matter how you look at that, it's healthy and you are in the right place. So for our cards we shall be using today, this is group 2. These are just some of my fun little summary decks. This is group 1. Group 3. I might have to get the book out a couple of times for your group because even though it follows traditional tarot in its meanings, I don't always know who the characters are, so then I'm like, wait a minute, because it actually has historical people in it. And then group 4, this is you. The deck looks very black and white right here, but it's quite colorful like this. So, and then all of you will be getting oracle cards out of here. I also apologize for being raspy. Sorry, I should have done all of my apologies at once. Sorry for the ceiling fan. Sorry for being raspy, and sorry for not doing more videos. Okay, let's show you your rocks. Group 1. This is green aventurine. I actually know this one. Group 2, you have this little turtle. I'm not sure what kind of stones. Kind of looks like what I've heard to be called ocean jasper, but I could be wrong. Group 3, you got this little, I don't know, maybe bloodstone, not sure. But you got a kiss from your turtle. Group 3, you better not be the romantic pile. Group 4, you got clear quartz. Okay. I almost kind of knew all the stones today. Go ahead and pause if you need. We'll see you in your individual readings. Bye. Hi, group 1. So if you picked the green aventurine and the cat tarot, we're going to get to that in just a minute, but let's go ahead and get your oracle cards. The rest of the year, or the next 5 months, we'll say. So we'll do a card for each month, as well as possibly a card for what you're leaving behind and what you are going to be headed towards. I'm not sure how it's going to work out. Let's use a lot of these. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're doing 7 cards. These are what you're moving away from and what you're moving towards. We'll do tarot for clarification. Can't decide if I'm going to go with those first or last, but we'll see. Let's look at month to month and just see what's going on here. All right, so for the coming month, coming to life, number 29. Ew. So I'm really getting this vibe of you really just, okay, so I'm getting like some people that are actually going to take like a dance class or some kind of artistic expression course. Others, you've already done courses in that and you're just going to step into actually just really doing it as a hobby. Like, for example, you might love to write, but you feel like there's never time. It's not something that actually pays the bills right now. And so you're like, I can't do it right now. I feel like in the next, well, especially in this next coming month, you are going to be bursting into life in some way. Really just coming into your own power in some way. It feels very creative for a lot of you. For others, it could just be coming into your own identity in some new way. Like I'm feeling like new job vibes, new identity vibes. So that could be like new identity with like who you're hanging with. And that could come in all forms. Romantic breakups can form new identities within ourselves. I definitely feel some breakup vibes. I don't feel like the coming into your own power self is like falling in love. I'm not seeing that for this group. That's not to say you're never going to find love or that you haven't already. It just isn't like part of the message from the guides that are coming in right now. I sound like a boy whose voice is breaking. Getting too old to play the girls in Shakespeare, darling. Like, what is she talking about? What am I talking about? Anyway. I see a little butterfly for change. And there's that whole coming back to life, spreading your wings, all this like very metaphorical energy is coming through. And you're just really coming into your power. I feel like some of you might be like going to makeup school or like tattooing. Or getting tattoos. Yeah, I feel like getting tattoos is like you're not the one doing the art, but you're part of the art process, and so it does kind of tap into those. Sorry if I'm like glaring you in the face. I stop looking at the camera and I look at the cards themselves, and then the bulb behind me is like, hello? Would you like to stare at this light? Like, no, we would not. Thank you. But yeah, being part of like an artistic process. And so like if you are, a part of any type of artistic thing, I don't feel like you're like, and I don't think you will, I'm just saying like, don't tamp yourself down like, oh, I'm just the tech person, or I'm just the editor, or I'm just the, being part of art is being part of art. And I love it when people live it through every facet of the art process. So I feel a lot of that coming up next month as well. So just like really coming into your own, like, it says right there, coming to life in some way. So coming into a new identity, a new job, a new relationship status, a new artistic endeavor or project endeavor. Really, it can be a lot of different things, but it feels good. It all feels pretty darn good. Okay, let's look at some more here. Number 40, follow the leader. For those of you that are going into this artistic process in the form of going to school, I feel like, and maybe not even just you, but certainly those of you that are going to school for this type of thing. In the second month, I think you're going to find some mentors. And I'm not saying you better go find a mentor and then have a log of how often you hung out with them. Not doing that. But you might find them organically. I'm also seeing this as like a tree in like the late autumn or late summer, early autumn, my bad. And that would actually fit if you end up watching this video right after it premieres, because we're right at the end of July while I'm filming this. Hence the little summery mermaid and, my attempt at what would appear to be sort of summery cards. Summary, not summary. Okay, so like finding some kind of a mentor, finding somebody to help, finding somebody that leads well by example, or just taking a lot of examples from a lot of different places. Like if you're moving to this like whole new location, I feel like this is going to be just like discovering the place, moving in, finding your little niche, all that. and then just running uphill and getting settled. And then this is the settling part where you're starting to notice your coworkers, the town folk, if you're not in a town, the interconnectedness of the people around you. I feel like even if you don't live in a small town, you form these little smaller communities within bigger areas because you don't see a really huge varied number of people that are going to stick in your mind. The ones that affect you the most, you're going to have about the same amount as anybody else. That's something that unites us all. But anyway, I feel like you kind of looking around and just watching the people around you, seeing like how they tick, what makes them mad, what, ooh, you tickle. My cat just camped in. Hi. Lily says hello. That's luck if Lily shows up. Right, kiddos? Yes, you're a good girl. If the camera starts shaking, it's because she's rubbing against the stand. But anyway, yeah, like seeing how people are. Some of you might get a cat to help you settle into your new home. Just a little thought that came in because the cat walked into the frame there. But yeah, just really getting to know everyone before you do a lot of your own, like, I feel like it's a good strategy. If you're in a type of new job or new community of some sort where people are watching you a lot. I know that I feel like you're doing tattooing, for example, like if you're in an apprenticeship, people watch you pretty closely, and I feel like it's kind of traditional for them to be hazed a lot. And maybe people have gotten cooler about it since, like, the times that they've been doing it on TV or the times that I've seen people in shops. But, yeah, sort of that learning curve of, like, just watching what everybody's doing around you and, like, keeping your mouth shut, but doing it in, like, a healthy way. I don't think you're doing beyond a way of, like, in a way that you'll get trampled on. I think you're doing it as a way to learn. So lots of learning coming up. Month after next. Let's keep going. Home number 27. Yeah, I feel like you guys cultivating a really nice home base, even though I feel a lot of energy outside the home with school and with community and jobs. But I'm also seeing this like niche. Some of you might be working from home and doing a lot of this stuff from home. I work from home, I understand. It's not something I ever thought I was going to get to do. I feel lucky that I get to do it. I just wish that it wasn't so... It's like you have a job, but you don't actually get to say you have a job. I don't know. It feels like that. Anyway, I mean, I suppose you can say whatever you want. Don't listen to me. But finding this little niche, like, I feel like... Okay, this also just popped into my head. Like, I was talking about this restaurant that we knew these people that owned, and it failed. And a lot of it, we saw it coming, right? And a lot of it was they didn't want to live in a restaurant. And I don't blame them, right? But anybody that owns a successful business in like an eatery or a bar or whatever, like you pretty much have to live there 24/7. And if you don't want to, it's probably a good idea to just like not get into that field, or to like get into it when you have enough scratch that you can hire like a manager, and then you just sit at the top and let the manager live there at the restaurant or said bar, that kind of thing. Because yeah, like once the world event occurred, like a lot of people that I knew that had restaurants just like collapsed, but a lot of it was with this one place was that they just didn't ever want to be there, and so I remember having this feeling of like, man, I wouldn't be able to handle living somewhere. And I thought if I was gonna have to like own a restaurant, like I would have to make that place feel like a place that I wanted to be all day long, every single day, like that I'd want it to be my home, so like it'd have to be like an establishment where I have at least a separate building that has cats in it. I don't know. Who knows? I couldn't do it. Like there's no way. Like I have the most respect for people that, and I know people that still own businesses now that went through the event and stayed open as long as they could and then shut down for a really long time because they had to, and then they're still going. And I'm like, how do you still have your hair? How do you still grow your own hair? Anyway, I feel like you are gonna, if you're not home a lot, you're gonna carve out a niche for yourself in that idea of like, yeah, like a person that, like these people I'm thinking about that basically live at restaurants or whatever. They're the ones that decided they couldn't, and now they, because their home situation was too important, that kind of thing, and they had to choose. I'm feeling a lot of that energy, but I'm feeling you doing it well. I feel like the third month you'll have settled and you're going to be feeling like a lot at home. Okay. So like if you're like going to school a lot, maybe you're teaching. I don't know. I always feel like if I say teaching that I'm projecting, but then a lot of times I'll get a comment where they're like, I am a teacher. Or I'm like, oh, good. So anyway, it's like you're not home a lot. You're home, very rarely, but you're at the school all the time, but you make a home out of that as well. I am not somebody who did that as much as others did, especially towards the end. Some people really lived in the school, and like I think that's something that is starting to die out in bigger areas, which I don't blame people for being like, we need to be paid if we're going to be working all day long. I get it, but like in small, poor, rural, underdeveloped, whatever communities, a lot of people just step up and do it for free, and like those people that do that are pretty special, and I feel like they create a home within that environment, and I feel like you're going to be doing that in some way, that somehow you're going to have this little niche of home time, or that you're going to make your little cubicle like your little home. One of the ways to make your area feel like a home is to like really get to know the workers around you and then figure out little nice things you can do for them, especially at times that that they're feeling low, etc. That can be a way that people feel like they're at home. So that might be something somebody is doing by that time, or something that you will be doing at that time. Let me know in the comments if you do stuff like that. I remember doing Secret Santas and stuff, and sometimes they could be more stressful than they were fun, but other times they were really fun, just depended on the year. Let's look and see. Clean house, number 37. I feel like, yeah, you're moving into a new space. A lot of you are moving into some kind of a new space, whether that's a space that you're working, where you're projecting, where you are manifesting. Maybe you have a magic room or a seance room. I have one, but I never use it. I just do this on the old TV tray, right? I do have a cute little room, but the cats enjoy sitting on all the tables in there, that's for sure. But yeah, like cleaning up a space and making it your own so that you do have that cozy little nook. And I think by the third month, you're going to realize that a lot of things have fallen behind because you've been so busy. I feel a very steadfast busyness across this group of people. Hardcore busy, but so good, in such a good way, such a projected, like a progressive way. There we are. That's what I'm trying to say. Some of you might have a little yellow cat like that, or a neighbor might have a cat like that stops by your house. We have a neighbor cat like that stops by our house. We're always thrilled to see him. Okay. We have 17 for Ghostlands. Interesting. Ghostlands. So a couple of things flashed into my mind. And I might get the book, I might not. I'm so excited for you guys because, like, I feel like I have this recurring, like, dream state. Sorry, there's a plane going by. There might be something about planes with you. That's a little plane where a guy flies over our house. He flies around and waves to his wife from up there. They live down the street. Anyway, usually when that plane shows up, it's a message for somebody. When we're doing a reading, it shows up a lot, which is odd. I don't really do these at set times, as you know if you've been around. Anyway, Ghostlands is coming up with this, like, this new atmosphere, but feeling very isolated and alone. Like when you go into a new environment, not everybody knows the real you right away. And you kind of enjoy that, right? Because you can create a lot and you can leave a lot of old stuff behind that doesn't fit you anymore. But it can also be kind of jarring, and you can feel like that one kid at summer camp that doesn't know anybody, and your mom is very far away, and you're in your little sleeping bag at night and it's cold and nobody knows you. And what if something really bad happens to you? Who would take care of you? That is coming through. Now that's a very extreme, like, inner child description, but just, you know, so that you can tap into that. That's part of what's coming through with this Ghostlands card. I feel like you're going to be so busy that by the next, you know, the last month of this year, you're going to be feeling like, man, A, I haven't seen anybody from my past in like several months or weeks. And B, everybody from my past is gone and it's just me right now, and like the holidays are coming up or whatever, right? Because if you're watching this while, you know, I'm filming it, which is like the last 5 months of the year, we have August, September, right? August, September, October, November, December, right? Okay. So anywho, or it could just be the next 5 months, that's fine. But you're going to be realizing that you're kind of on your own. And I got like this idea of like an empty dorm room or an empty campus or an empty town. And feeling just kind of by yourself, not really knowing anyone. And then the people that are from your professional project social life, they kind of are gone for a while, and you're on like kind of an off season here. Is what's coming through. Very quiet nights. It's not unpleasant, but I'm the type of person that likes that atmosphere. I don't want to project that onto you. So I don't feel like it's a defeat, like, oh, and that's because you didn't get social enough and now ha ha ha, you're alone. I'm not seeing that for everybody. Nobody has to be alone if they don't want to be alone. There are ways to get out and reach out to others. The mediums of exchange with how you reach out to others could be different from what you would like it to be, but it still can happen and does happen, especially if you manifest forward towards it. Something usually comes down the line towards you. But yes, I am seeing this very isolated feeling. And I feel like, you know, that cleaning up and making your own space and your little home all nice and your little system, it's like you might not have as many people to share it with at this station in life or at this location that you're at. Or maybe there's a lot of people around you who don't understand the time that you spend away from home is very involved, and you do enjoy your time at home, but you don't feel that Ghostland energy is not feeling like people are hearing you or understanding like what you're doing and why it means so much to you. Interesting. Sorry, that's a hard one coming through. I'm not sure if I'm articulating it correctly. Okay. There's something about the 17th coming up of December specifically. So if you're watching during the time I'm filming this, and that's your December card, that's interesting. Okay. Lots of change. But I'm telling you guys, it feels good. There's just that feeling of like fear. I feel like this fear of being alone, maybe a little bit. Fear of making executive decisions in ways you didn't used to do, or used to not have the responsibility of, and now you do. Does that make sense? Answer me. Okay. Let's take a look at what you are leaving behind and what you are moving towards in these months. Peaks of joy. I get really big Fool card energy from this. I feel like leaving behind anything that doesn't give you joy. is what you're choosing to leave behind. Like just diving in and finding happiness where happiness finds you given your situation, and not worrying about how that situation looks as much as you may have used to in the past. Which I just love the positive energy. I just feel like you guys are such fish out of water right now. So if you're like, no, I'm not, I've been doing this a million years, definitely in the wrong pile. That's how these pick a card things work. I do that sometimes. I'm like, this isn't me. And then I'm like, all right, I can get out of here and watch a different one. If you find yourself getting frustrated, you're in the wrong pile. All right. So anyhow, yeah, lots of fish out of water energy, but it's very much diving into that idea. If you're headed into the fall, some of you might be headed into college, or some of you might be headed into like teaching or taking a course or going back to school for some kind of a degree program or some kind of professional development program, or a whole new career where you had to do a lot of training for it and you're really just kicking off into it. All kinds of newy energy. Starting a new business, doing your own thing. In the sense of it just being like a personality shift. I'm seeing you just jumping into exactly who you want to be. And just leaving behind anything that doesn't serve you. Even if you go alone. Yes, yes. What you're headed into is Compass 50. Yeah, no, you're just going to, once you let go and jump like that, you usually fall into place with whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing. I know that sounds so cliche, but it's usually true. I'm always like, I'm sorry, I don't like hearing that either when I do readings, but it's usually the case with people. So anyway, letting go and diving into what you're diving into is this whole idea of you being able to like just propel forward. And like, yeah, it might have scared you away 5 months ago to be alone at this time, but it doesn't as much this time. Okay, I understand it's still kind of like bittersweet to be alone and all that good stuff, but I feel like you've got this. That's the energy that I'm picking up from you anyway. Okay, let's get you some tarot. Sorry, my table's so wobbly. They need to be serviced. Like service for little TV tables? Yes. Ooh. All right. Oh my gosh. I hope if you just heard my back crack, because that was horrifying. Okay. Wheel of Fortune is coming through, so this is a lucky time. I love that. And that protection element, the change with the ravens, but also just that I have no idea if that's what these flowers are. I always think of the poppy fields in Wizard of Oz when I see them in this deck, and I have no idea if that's even what they actually are. But I think about that, like, not that you're just going to pass out and not get what you need to do done, which is what happens to them in the poppy fields, but that drowsy, dreamlike, let's go, guys, and just moving forward is definitely there. And it's like a very positive energy. Yes. You're totally on the journey that you're supposed to be on. Like, when you look back on your life at this time, you'll be like, that was time well spent. It looks for some of you that you're going to have some moolah coming in. Pentacles are very, very happy little cards to get in career and finances. And 10 of Pentacles is very much about having enough to share with others. So, very positive. Let's see what else we've got for you. Yes, you making your way forward. Oh my goodness. Okay. I feel like I'm going to get redundant if I don't stop now. Ugh, I love this for you. Okay, so And it's butterfly wings. You see? Oh my goodness. It's so beautiful. And pentacles. You're moving forward. You're following your truth. You're following your path. You're going to end up being guided to success. You're going to get your own success there. You're going with the flow. It's a lucky time. I mean, it just doesn't get any better for you, Group 1, with the next 5 months coming up. You've got really great things coming that are going to last you like a lifetime worth of gratitude, of like, this was a happy time in my life. You're just at the beginning of that. So with that, I shall leave you. If this is helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading, there are ways to do so in the description box. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, Group 2. So if you pick the little turtle, let's go ahead and get into your reading. We're going to start with your oracle cards. And we're going to get 5 cards, one for each of the last months of this year or the next 5 months. Okay, one for each month. And then we're doing a what are you moving out of, what are you moving towards vibe with 2 cards also from this deck. And then we'll get into your tarot, and then we'll be done. Oh, goodness. What do we have here? We have 4, 5, 6. We need one more, 7. Okay. Alrighty. So for next month, we have details. We have all this planning. Number 43. Lots of planning, lots of research even. I feel like some of you have done a lot of research for like a health situation. I hope it's not serious, but usually if you're doing this much research on something, it's kind of serious, or at least time consuming enough in itself that you have to do research. I can relate. Let's see. I like the little compass there. That's a little reassurance from your guides that they will help you as long as you're delving into the details. They will help you find the right ones. Other things besides health. You could be like researching things that are just, it's like really important that you get the facts straight. That's what's coming through. However that speaks to you. I really feel like this is a very literal sense of like looking up things and seeing what is actually true, what you think, where you stand on something, etc. It even feels kind of warning-ish, like your guide's saying to not go off half-cocked and like actually try to have your argument solid, whatever that argument might be, whatever that's whatever's going on. Interesting. What else? I just seen you really wanting to be prepared. There's also some art project coming in. There was some art project stuff coming on the last one too. And I don't understand the art world per se, but doing some kind of research for art, for an art project, but you really want it to be good. I could even be doing like a historical tattoo. People get a lot of compass tattoos. Not saying that that's what you're getting, but I've seen this little like, what is that? Like a little gopher with a little apprentice hat on? Or what is that? I can't tell. Is it a snail? I can't tell, but it is. I'm trying to look at it through the camera. It's a rabbit. It's a rabbit. I can't tell what that is. Definitely can't tell from looking at the card. Through the camera, it looked more like a rabbit. I don't know what that is. I feel like maybe some of you feel unprepared for all this research. Like you feel like a novice. I don't feel like you are totally overwhelmed. But maybe some of you are. Lots of steady research. Some of you might be taking a big test or something. There were some back to school vibes in the last one too. Ooh, commitment. In the next month. Interesting. Okay, something new is taking shape here. So hopefully you stuck around if this is about romance for you. Gross. I'm feeling like some of you might be engaging into an engagement, literally, but like you're doing like a big legal step when you're moving forward with your partner. Like there's a lot of like paperwork that has to be exchanged, research about each other's families, that kind of stuff is coming through. And like that stuff has to be decided on and legally kind of sorted out before you do the commitment thing the next month. That's coming in for somebody. I know it's very specific. For others, you're just really committed to what you're doing that's requiring this research, whether it's like your health, whether it's doing research on relationships, like I just got like a flash of somebody doing research on, what do you want to call it? Like the psychological toll that it takes to be at certain places in the family. Like if you're the mom, it's different for you. If you're, the oldest kid, it's different for you. That kind of energy, like doing that kind of research. Maybe doing genetic research because of the health detail that we were talking about. For some. Regardless of what you're working towards, the second month, so month after next, I'm feeling like you are definitely getting into a better groove with all the work you've done. So like it feels like you're successful in this, even if it feels like you've never done it before or you never have done it before. That you are making good progress by the time you get into that next month. So that is coming through. Yep, slow and steady wins the race. I was talking about this snail earlier. This is definitely a snail this time. But like, look at the little like determined look on her face and the light coming out of her. She's got little wings. I feel like I've got chariot vibes from this card, like in tarot. And that's all about taking what's yours, being victorious, moving forward. So, man, there's lots of change coming up for a lot of people in the next 5 months. I wonder what's going on with everyone. Maybe a lot of like back to school vibes, but it could be other things like new jobs and new relationships, new identities. You might relate a lot to group one. This feels a little like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like doing research that's not for school. That's what it feels like. More like doing research for like relationship dynamics at home or a job where you have to really like step up and show them that you can do what you have to do, but you're like new at it. So you're like learning as you go kind of energy. But you're headed in the right direction either way. 46 coming apart. Oh, but emotionally interesting. Okay, we're going to get some tarot on this card specifically to find out exactly what comes apart for whom, but I'm definitely feeling like a very strong, like it gets to be too much during this month vibe. So Remember, you're not fated for everything to happen the way that a card says. But your guides do show what's likely to happen based on the energy that's coming down the line. So, in order to help you kind of curb this, it's a good idea to really slow and steady, guys. Including like stepping back when you need to, taking time, being realistic with yourself, being realistic with your time, your goals, your commitments. So that you can avoid like burning out is what this feels like quite a bit. I have a lot of guides piping in. Okay. I'm going to get to this and these, and then we're also going to get some tarot. We're going to get into some specifics on that one. Moonlight 51. I definitely get moon vibes, like the moon card in tarot from this. Pretty this is. This is all about having fear of the future, but not needing to have fear of the future. Not needing to see around every corner to know that you're going to be okay, following your intuition. It can be about being kept in the dark about something. There's a lot of work going into what you're going towards, everyone in this group that's in the right group. And so this, like, I almost feel like it feels like it's coming apart, or it feels like because you don't know what's coming that you can't enjoy the process of moving forward. And I want to warn you not to fall into that trap. I'm not going to tell you how to not do that, because if I knew how to do that, I wouldn't do it to myself all the time, but you get the idea. Okay. Before we get into tarot, we're going to look at what you're leaving behind and what you're headed towards. Spirit of place is what you're leaving behind. Interesting. Number 4. I could be wrong about the number, but doesn't number 4 have some kind of significance in like bursting forward, or like being, I know it's about balance, but like also like, isn't it about being victorious in some way, or like completing things in a good way, or being in the right place at the right time? Let's say that. I feel like what you're leaving behind is some kind of a ghost of something that didn't work out behind you, okay? Whew. Ugh, that took a long time to spit out. I feel like things are going well, and a lot of you will start to worry that things are, you know, if there's some challenges that arise, you're going to think it's the beginning of the end, and this is it, and why can't anything ever work out for me, and blah, 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 right? Been there. Am there. So anywho, that being said, your guides are trying to shout out that you're leaving behind the spirit of that idea of something that didn't work out before, that hurts you now, that's in the past, and it's time to move forward and look at the present and the future as potential for it being great, as opposed to potential for it to go bad, leaving that era, that spirit behind. Okay. And then, yep, spark is what you're headed towards. Celebrating, dancing, actually enjoying the moment, enjoying what is working out rather than worrying about what won't work out, etc. Dancing to your own tune, going with the flow. Okay, let's look at some tarot. Oof. All these cards except one deck are huge, and I'm like, Well, my tiny hands, I cannot do it. Let's see what else you've got coming towards you. King of Pentacles, good. So if you have money woes or worries, you can let those slide because things are looking good there. Two of Pentacles. See how well she's doing, even though she's got her hands full. Two of Pentacles always has that message of, you know, juggling a lot or juggling too much at once, but like it also carries a message of doing it well. So you might be busy for a while and like you might feel like you're running uphill or you're, you know, you're having to learn as you're doing what you're trying to do. When it would be nice, you'd have been able to learn and then do, right? But I see you doing quite well regardless. And you really should watch group 1 because I feel like there's a lot of... Seven of Swords. Let go of the past, y'all. Go slow and steady. The past is not going to repeat necessarily just because it happened to you before and you didn't see it coming. That doesn't mean it's doomed to happen to you every time now. And I know that we have the tendency to feel that way, but it's not true. I totally am there with you. I feel that way all the time. What else can you hear from your guides? Yes, you're going to overcome your challenges. King of Swords. Got the little needle sew up their little dress there. Alright, so I see things working out well. Yeah, I see Four of Wands just popped out. Now let's talk about the Four of Wands filling over here. Four of Wands is about celebrating your achievements, finding a home, finding a partner, overcoming your challenges. Seven of Wands. So yeah, do not fret, it shall be good. The next 5 months look like they're going to be busy, but they're going to end well. Lots of change, lots of research. If you hate research, that's the part that sucks, is that that's the part that's right around the corner. You got to be diligent on that part. But other than that, it looks like, you know, with knowledge comes power. And I think you'll figure that out as you go. And with that, I shall leave you. If this is helpful, tell me how in the comments section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading, there are ways to do so in the description box. We shall see you next time, my friends. Take care. Bye, 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 bye. Hello, group 3. So if you pick the little kissy turtle, let's go ahead and get into your reading. For the next 5 months. Before we get into tarot, let's get into your oracle. We're going to get 7 cards, 5 for each month coming up, and then 1 card for what you're leaving behind, and 1 card for what you're moving towards. Before and after, we'll get those later. Well, let's look at what's going on here. Okay, so we're just gonna go month to month. I am filming this at the end of July, but it doesn't matter if you're not watching it from August forward. August, September, October, November, December. Okay, let's go ahead and August 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Protected treasure. I'm definitely getting a saving your money vibe for this next month coming up. That might be hard for some of you because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that you want to do. So I think that's why she kind of has this little umbrella while she's sitting on her little chest, because she can't do the things she wants to do because she's saving money. So protecting treasure. This could also be protecting yourself in some other way. Here we go. I am feeling some breakup vibes. I'm feeling that you're needing to protect yourself from someone who hurt you in the past, who has great capacity to be able to do it again if you keep letting them into your life. It's coming in, definitely, for sure. Sorry that that happened to you. And so you're protecting yourself, but it's not like you're feeling better yet during this next month coming up. So I apologize for that. That sucks. But yeah, just kind of taking care of yourself, but just not feeling great, kind of sitting in, licking your wounds, so to speak, all that fun stuff that we have to do sometimes. It might feel like that, like everybody else is out having a great time and you're kind of indoors dealing with whatever you're dealing with. I also got like, somebody might have gotten an injury, you got hurt, and so you can't go out and do all the outdoorsy things that you would normally do this time of year if you're watching during the time that we're filming, which is like, you know, ideal time to go out for people if they like the outdoors in a lot of areas is this time of year. So my apologies for that as well. Okay, let's keep moving forward. Bone collector number 1. I'm getting the magician vibe with this card, and your guides are telling you that like everything is what you make of it. I feel like a lot of you, like if there was an injury or an illness, or like, you know, you just simply cannot afford to go do anything, or you cannot afford to let somebody back into your life, you can't afford to go back to something, and so you're having to kind of sit still for a while. Your guides are showing you that you need to make the most of where you're at. And I know that can be rough. And I don't know if giving you examples is like really helpful or not. It's not really helpful to me when people try to give me examples because they don't know the extent of my limitations, I guess we could say. And so it's like I know that, you know, I know if I'm supposed to be at home all the time, then I need to find ways to make myself busy, and so I need to come up with things to do. I get it, you know, but I get not wanting to hear that as well. So I feel like I'm just gonna leave it. You know how it feels. So I'm feeling the bunny rabbit energy of like going forward in a courageous manner. Like some of you might be really hurt or really sick, emotionally, physically, whatever. And so your guides are like some of you might not be allowed to leave the house. And so your guides are just saying to hang in there and to like make the most of your house, make the most of your surroundings of that time. If you weren't busy all the time and you could sit at home and do whatever you wanted to do, what would you do? You know, that kind of energy is coming through from your guides for that month. And it looks as if you will come up with ideas. Some of you might hunt, some of you might you know, go camping or do something that you're allowed to go do. I don't know. Something on your own. Okay. Moving on. One Ring Circus. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of staying away from like old crowd vibes. So maybe not just, you know, a breakup romantically. I think maybe the breakup romantically has kind of changed your social status as well in some way. Like the people you hang out with might not be the people you get to hang out with as much anymore. Or if it was some kind of a severing of a job, or, you know, just missing out on people because you can't go out because you're hurt or sick or broke. And you're like on your own little island unto yourself, feeling like you're on the island of misfit toys. Oh my gosh, this is killing me. I'm so sorry. That makes me feel so bad. Like, aw, I totally understand the loneliness feeling, I guess. I feel like your guides are saying that if you lean into that idea of like making the most of where you're at, and this is something I tell people a lot, and I try to get people to buy into it a lot, is that idea of like, you're the main character. So if the main character is completely alone, what does the main character do to make the story interesting? And it's just for you, right? But there are ways to make your story interesting to yourself. You just have to use the means that are available to you. And I feel like by the, third month in, that you're going to be realizing what you can. I mean, like, this person's accumulated quite the character figure. They got a little hat. They got their little outfit all figured out, right? They got stuff that they're working on here. I feel like there's just this time of grieving and then kind of pulling it together is what I'm feeling very strongly for you guys. And then, yeah, peaks of joy moving forward, jumping into this new identity, this new space. I feel such a shedding of old skin, like maybe giving up old vices, like toxic people, toxic substances, toxic behaviors, whatever, what have you. Toxic workplaces, toxic families, half of a toxic family, whatever. And I feel you sort of just really coming into your own here because, like, you've discovered this new whole new personality within yourself. This whole new person that's moving forward and just jumping into the light and following the new, right? And trusting their guides that you're in the right place or you're in the place you're supposed to be, yada, yada, yada. Yes, and magical map shifter, and then just taking hold of your own destiny and doing whatever the F you want, friend. My goodness. Whew. So there's a lot of positive stuff here. I do not want to cheapen, though, the fact that the next couple of months are not going to be easy. And like, even the third month isn't the easiest thing in the world to do, to just kind of reinvent yourself and move forward. Maybe totally feeling like you're entirely on your own doing it. That's hard no matter who you are or how resilient you may be. So I'm not going to cheapen that at all. Let's look and see, though. I mean, like, but by the end of it, it's just like, bam, just like taking off into this hole, and the compass is there showing you the way. I get Wheel of Fortune vibes from this clock. Some of you might even have a clock that looks like that. Rabbit energy, elephant energy. It's like about abundance and luck. Okay. Moving forward regardless of circumstances being hard. Let's see what you're moving away from. Yeah, I feel this like you're moving away from an old home towards something new. And so again, like, not to make light of what you're leaving behind, because it does feel like, yeah, see? And then movement is what you're moving into, and this idea of like having their home on their back and just moving forward, floating along on the breeze, is very fitting to like what you seem to be going through. It's a really heavy but strong like energy that I'm picking up from you guys, of like this very survivalist, moving forward through hard times, leaving behind. Like, look how they're looking back at like the home they're leaving behind, but they're doing it because the home that they need to create is already within them. And that movement towards this magical map shifter and this like peak of joy and this movement, positive movement forward, it's pretty inspiring. But yikes, y'all have been through it, or you're going through it. My goodness, let's get you some tarot. If I have to grab the book, I'm sorry, but it'll probably happen, guys. New deck. 10 of baskets, which is like 10 of cups. Wonderful. Right there. Four of swords or knives. The garden. And dim bones. We are going to get the book for the last two here. All right. So with the 10 of cups, that's all about coming home. Making a home. That's about like meeting your soulmate and creating a home, new family together. Okay. And so if like you are leaving behind like a person that you were in love with and that you're breaking up and it was hard, you know, or you're leaving something behind that you really loved, your guides are reassuring you that what you were meant to have is coming towards you anyway. You're bringing it, you're building it on your own back. Okay. You're moving forward. It's kind of a slow and steady pace, but it's like an ostrich now, right? Movement is going to is picking up towards the end of the year, as opposed to it going slow the whole time. I feel like the first 2 months are going to be the slowest, especially that first month. The first month could feel like 3. I'm not gonna cheapen that for you. Your guides are saying to rest while you can, because you're growing something. Okay, I want to get the book out for these two other cards though. Just so I can make sure that we give you all the meanings coming through from your guides. Oh, goodness gracious. There we go. And then we also want the garden. Okay. Yeah, the garden is the world card. This is about coming to, you know, something coming to an end so that something new can begin. Okay. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Isaiah 58:11. Some of you might have grown up in biblical time, but these do have a lot of biblical verses in them. So here's some history about farmers and how they used to be, you know, what everybody did in America, and then it started to become more of an industrial society and get more complicated, right? So change was this thing that happened, right? But just because it changed didn't mean that they stopped being farmers. They just adapted and kept moving forward. And the end of the harvest was not, oh, just because things are changing, this end of the harvest is the end of our harvest. Like, they just kept plugging forward, and you still have farmers today. Okay, so that's a huge message with this card in particular. But that idea of like things coming to an end, but it's just because you're moving on to the next level of what your home is going to look like, of what your life is going to look like over the next 6 months. So much change coming through with all these different groups today. It is intense and insane. Yeah, but it's showing that you're going to be a success. The world is about success and moving forward, so let's definitely get that straight. And then Dim Bones is the Judgment card. It's time for you to focus on your need rather than what you want. Okay. Is that a message that's coming through in the book that is fine? But I like to go with the other Judgment thing that's like answering your calling. This kind of reminds me of the Judgment card a little bit, now that we're talking about the Judgment card. Answering your calling, getting a second chance. And so that idea of, you know, probably not a second chance with a person that you need to let be in your past, or a behavior or a substance you're letting in your past, but something coming in to take back over and win back your positivity, win back that zest for life, it re-spark that wanting to build a home and water your own garden and set up your own story, etc. So rest up and feel better, because things are not going to stay tumultuous for you, but I'm not, again, not going to cheapen that. You've been through it. There's going to be people helping you at some point, like friends or coworkers, creative forces, spirit guides. Yes, somebody's going to be helping you out, and they want you to rest. Your guides definitely look at the two. Your guides want you to rest up and just get ready for this movement that's coming, this shift that's happening, okay? And with that, I shall leave you. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box, my friends. Thank you. We shall see you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, group 3. So if you picked the clear quartz and this little bonfire tarot, let's go ahead and get going on your oracle cards first, and just get, we're going to do 7 cards, 5 months for each of the months coming up, and then a card of what you're leaving behind and a card about what you're moving into, and then some tarot for clarification. Alright, so I want to say a couple of things came in right in the beginning for you guys. Somebody is feeling reckless in your energy. I don't know what kind of reckless things you might be thinking about doing, but your guides are popping up saying, don't act recklessly. So I don't know if you like to drive fast, if you like to go out and tie one on, if you like to go out and tie one on and get in a fight. I don't know if you like to, I don't know what reckless energy you get into. You don't have to tell me. It's none of my business, but your guides are coming through for somebody on that. Also, there's something about you guys that's like, something about you's hidden, like a secret you that not everybody gets to see. Like there's something more colorful or more in depth about you than what the world around you gets to see generally. So there's just some confirmation that you're in the right place if you're making sure that you're in the right place. Okay. These are moving away from and moving towards cards, and we're going to get into these first and see what's going on with you. So next month we have Gentle Gardener. Whenever I see this card, I feel like the sun vibe from tarot cards. It's like, I feel this like very benevolent, like guide presence looking out for you, and you can chalk that up to however your belief system works. It could be like how it looks in the card, like a grandmother figure looking over you, watching you, and just making sure you have a great life. It could also be something less literal on the card and more metaphorical for you. But yeah, it's some kind of very, very benevolent force is guiding you, especially next month. So if you're not sure what to do, there's going to be gentle nudges coming from your guides, letting you see the signs of where you need to go, what you need to decide. I feel a lot of like big decision energy coming forward for everyone. So there very well, this could be one of those readings where there's message, like a little message here or there in all of the groups for you. Just this very transitional energy. Okay, moving along. Spirit of Place, number 4. Heal the Ouch, number 38. There's such a grandmotherly presence with me right now. So, just so you know. It's not going away. Some of you might have had, if they weren't your grandmother, it was somebody that was a very nurturing presence, but they could have actually been a nurse. Like your grandma could have been an RN or in the medical field of some way, or somebody who took care of animals or whatever. That's definitely coming through. What else is coming through here? Maybe some of you are getting ready to go out into the world in some way and follow in the footsteps of your grandparent or a family member. Like maybe you're going into medicine like they did. If you're not going into medicine, maybe they're into something else and you're going into that, and that's just the representation of it. It could just be you following in the footsteps of people that you greatly admire. But I feel you really connecting to like the spiritual elements that are guiding you in the next 3 months, like really tapping into, like I got like a feeling of if you were going into like a medical field where you were going to be dealing with like taking care of cadavers or passed away people, that you would like not just research the biological stuff you needed to learn, that you would also like look up the history of traditions of what people used to do, why they used to do it, how it evolved from like families who did it into like a profession, and that kind of stuff is coming through. But yeah, really tying into like the spiritual, or like the background of nurses and what nurses used to do and what they did during different times in the country you're in, and the rules of women or whatever, what have you. It's just like all kinds of stuff's coming through. It's like really getting in touch with like not just your own personal like cultural roots, but the roots of what you're going into in this next phase, the next 6 months. Interesting. So your guides are coming forward in some way because for whatever reason, this next 6 months time is very, very significant to you spiritually and in connectivity to your guides and your spiritual journey in life. No pressure. No pressure at all. And I mean, like everybody that's been here so far has been getting this energy, so in one form or another, let's keep on going. Magical stream number 18. Actually, crane. Crane is significant, but I don't remember what cranes mean. Yikes. Okay, hang on. And then slow and steady for the last card. And that's 12, which if you're watching this during the time I'm filming it, this would be the December card. Just so you know. Okay. So there's a lot of different ways you can like take this reading into account with me. One, you can take track of the numbers and to see how they apply to you individually for each of the months coming towards you. Sorry for my scratchy voice. Sorry for clearing in your ear. Taking note of the animals that have shown up. We have the snail, we have the crane, we have the fox, we have the raccoon, and we have butterflies, birds, fairy, elf type stuff, grandmotherly vibes, heaven vibes, big life path journey vibes are definitely coming through. So let's break this down month to month. Your guide, who is really taking the lead in this, whatever benevolent force wants you to do well over the next course of the next 5 months, is really going to make an appearance next month and is going to lead you forward. I mean, like, as unmistakable as them seeing that person gazing down on them, it should be apparent to you. The sign should be apparent. If it's not, then keep asking, show me a sign. I don't see what I'm supposed to do. And just keep moving forward. Because they're guiding you in some way, okay? By the next month, you're going to sort of be like establishing your place in what you've decided to do in each of your individual given situations. moving forward in like a career, moving forward in some kind of a challenge. I do feel a lot of like moving forward in career or moving forward in an identity of some kind over the next few months. Changing in some way. Moving forward towards something that you want to do. Someone's going to come along and help heal a past wound for some of you. On the third month, others, it's going to be you actually stepping into some kind of a medical field. Others, that presence used to be in the medical field is going to step forward and help heal you in some way. There's so many coming through. There's some ancestral wounds that are going to get cleaned up for some people watching. Some of you are going to learn a lot about your past over the next 5 months, and you're not even going to realize that that's what it is in some cases, but that's what it's about, like an ancestral past, not like this lifetime past. Like an ancestry that bleeds forward in time, and some of it's good and some of it's not good, and you need to shed the kind of parts that aren't good and lean in the parts that are good, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's a big part of what's coming through with your lessons over the next 5 months. And maybe healing some phobias and some fears. Interesting. Please do, because those feel terrifying. Magical stream. So by the 4th month, you're going to be through that healing, and you're going to be able to kind of baptize yourself anew, so to speak. So like, I don't know, it's a weird time to say this, but it's coming through, so I might as well tell you about it. There's this therapy technique called ART, Accelerated Resolution Therapy. You should look it up and see if it's in the area that you live in. If you have any things in your past that make you feel like you're going to lose your stuff whenever you think about those things, they'll help you get rid of it like that. It's crazy. Just talking, and you're not even really talking. It's amazing. So some of you, like, there's like this thing that they take you through metaphorically, where you might, like, after you're done going through this whole like session, you might imagine yourself like drinking from a fountain where you get what you need from it. And so that's also kind of coming through, which is odd, is to like either after this is over or just with me right now, like quickly think about the things that you need in your life right now, or that you need by the end of this 5 months. And if you could drink them from a fountain, what would they be? And to take time and imagine yourself getting those things is important right now. It's like right after we do the reading, or pause, or whatever. And then even by the last month of the year, or however you're watching this, your guides are still saying to take it easy. Like, you've been going through a lot, it feels like. It's like a lot of... It's so hard to explain. It feels like a lot of you aren't even, it's not even something that you're going to experience like outwardly in like your today's life kind of situations, like career or whatever. It feels more like really deep spiritual healing. And becoming aware of elements of your past that you might not have ever been aware of before. Such as, you know, a trigger that happens to you and you realize, oh my gosh, that happened to me because my parents blah blah blah, you know, or whatever. That kind of energy is coming through. Okay. So I mean, your guides are saying that it's such an odd thing to read for someone, but yeah, like these positive visualizations of like, yeah, imagine, you know, getting grounded and thinking of yourself going to a fountain and getting the things that you need, or being as creative with that as you want, you know, going to a grocery store and picking whatever you need off the shelf, or having somebody show up to your doorstep with prizes, and it's all the things that you need. You see what I'm saying? Going along in that focus area, doing really positive visualization, looking into accelerated resolution therapy if you have the means and the know-how to do so. Message me if you'd like me to help you out with figuring out how to figure out where you have that available to you. I'd be happy to help you because it's that cool of a technique. It's so fast. 1 to 5 sessions and you're done. So crazy. But anyway, on top of all that, just taking it nice and slow and steady and just moving forward in your life with this healing in mind. It's so cool that your guides are coming through this like reminder that even though we have these like busy, very physical lives of getting up, going to work, going home, cleaning the house, doing the things, getting sick, getting better, etc. and so forth, that, you know, running out of money, needing money, getting money, that there's also these spiritual things taking place that do warrant our attention, and they do help us with those other physical things if we attend to them as well. So let's look at what you're leaving behind and what you're moving towards. Leaving behind details, details, details. Interesting. And moving towards wishing well. Yay! Okay, so one of the things that I'm hearing from your guides in this is that you're moving away from this, like, this really goes along with that magical stream, wishing well, getting whatever you need, whatever you want. They're really talking about forgetting about the details and just imagining getting what you want. But that's so important for you guys right now. You need to move away from, like, the, yeah, but that could never happen because this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, okay, don't worry about why it won't ever happen, and just imagine it happening, right? Way, 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 way harder to do sometimes than people give it credit for. So yeah, your guides are saying to definitely picture that somehow. If you cannot picture things in your mind at all, sit down and like draw yourself a little drawing of getting whatever you want, however you want to make that look. Okay. But your guides are showing that you're moving away from this limited thought into this idea of what could go right, and actually seeing things go right because you've entered into this new, really positive space, and it starts to affect things in the present for you. Okay, let's get some tarot. We have the Queen of Cups, Three of Cups, wow, Ace of Cups, fabulous, and Nine of Wands. Okay. What your guides really want you to focus on is this idea that like wonderful things are coming. You can let go of worrying about how that's going to happen. That keeps coming through over and over, especially towards the end of this reading. Don't worry about how it's going to happen. Focus on the joy of the fact that it's going to happen. And their promises to you are celebrating, feeling emotional fulfillment, feeling overflowing abundance and joy. And this is all about leaving burden behind. It's like you're almost there, okay? And so lean into that feeling because your guides are definitely being reassuring that it's coming towards you. All right. The Hanged Man. Yeah, I feel like this is a message that your guys are saying you really don't have to do anything. Like they're just going to guide your way. You don't have to worry about, because you'll get stuck in the miring down the conflict of like, but how? And they're saying you don't have to worry about how. Just live your life and these things will take care of themselves. 10 of Cups. That's about abundance and finding family, finding love, finding joy. finding success. I mean, your guides are being very, 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 very positive, y'all. Super duper positive. So overall, it's like 5 months of, you know, just kind of living your life the way you've been living it, and then these crazy miraculous things are going to happen to you spiritually that's going to affect your emotions in a positive way. Hopefully you're as spiritual as, you know, this pile would dictate, because otherwise you'd be like, what? But yeah, just letting go and letting your guides guide you is what's definitely coming through. So with that, I shall leave you. If this is helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. My friends, thank you for being here. We shall see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.